What is going on, everyone? One of my favorite parts about the NFL offseason, the schedule release. I mean, the leaks are awesome. The video packages that the teams put together are awesome. There's no reason why we should like this, but it's one of my favorite times of the year. We were supposed to find out today. However, the NFL pushed it back next week on the 15th. So today, I am giving you my predictions for the 2024 Houston Texans schedule. The first thing I want to give you guys, who is going to be traveling to Houston? Who is coming to the H? Now, outside of the usual AFC South suspects, the Houston Texans will be playing at home against the Detroit Lions, the Buffalo Bills, the Miami Dolphins, the Chicago Bears, and the Baltimore Ravens. The Houston Texans will be traveling to play against, outside of the AFC South usual suspects, the New England Patriots, the New York Jets, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Dallas Cowboys, the Green Bay Packers, and the Minnesota Vikings. I am excited for this season. If you are not in my Houston Texans Discord, what are you doing? Let me know if you want to be added down below, and I will personally send you the invite. Welcome, everyone. This is the 713 Houston Sportcast, where I drop daily Houston Texans content, so make sure you guys are following me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube for the latest Houston Texans news, rumors, and updates. And this episode is brought to you by my friends at Underdog Fantasy. Download the app, use my promo code 713HOU for a bonus on your first deposit up to $100. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for watching today's episodes. Now, ladies and gentlemen, once again, these are just my predictions. I'm not claiming to be right. Let me know how I do. Here's how I think the Houston Texans 2024 season schedule is going to play out. Week 1 at Kansas City. I think we could all see this happening. The NFL sees CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans as the next worthy opponent to the Kansas City dynasty. If you remember, the Houston Texans in 2020, the exact same situation, traveling to Kansas City. Our quarterback at that time was Deshaun Watson. But I think it will be a great opportunity to showcase your new acquisitions, Stephon Diggs, Joe Mixon, Danielle Hunter, and for the Texans to kind of announce themselves. Imagine they win that game. I'm going to be saying the Houston Texans just sent a message to the league that this is their year. But I would absolutely want to see the Houston Texans at KC week 1. Week 2. At home, Tennessee Titans. I think the Houston Texans want to show off that H-Town blue uniform early, and who better than against Tennessee? This would also be the first matchup we see of CJ Stroud versus Will Levis. Get your AFC South opponents out the way early. Week 3, I have the Houston Texans traveling to Indianapolis. CJ Stroud goes back to the Loud House, or as Pat McAfee calls it, the Stroud House, where he clinched the AFC South division for the Houston Texans. That will be a good and tough matchup. Then week 4, have the Houston Texans coming home, and they're going to have a tough opponent. The guys who they lost in the divisional round of the playoff, Baltimore Ravens. That's who I think the Houston Texans will be playing against week 4. That might be another primetime game for this team. CJ Stroud gets another crack at the MVP, Lamar Jackson. Week 5, I have the Houston Texans back on the road, traveling to Minnesota and facing the Vikings. I should expect the Houston Texans to take care of business there. Week 6, home against the Miami Dolphins. A true test for this Houston Texans defense. Tua Tagovailoa, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. I mean, it seems like every single one of the running back could go off for 200 yards at any given moment. Devon A-Chain, if healthy, is an absolute beast. That will be a tough matchup, but a fun matchup and a true test for this Houston Texans team. Week 7, I have the Houston Texans traveling to New England to face Drake May and the Patriots. We should handle business there. Week 8, I have it as a bye week. The Houston Texans haven't had a bye in the middle of the season in a while, so I put it right there. Week 9, coming out of the bye, I have the Houston Texans traveling to Green Bay to face Jordan Love and the Packers. a matchup of two great young quarterbacks. The first time we get to see CJ Stroud versus Jordan Love. Then I have the Houston Texans week 10 at home welcoming the Detroit Lions, a tough matchup. And if the Houston Texans win that game, I will be talking crazy on social media. Week 11, week 12, I have the Houston Texans back-to-back games on the road. At Jacksonville, week 11, the first time we play them this season. And week 12 at Tennessee, finishing off your games against them, putting them to bed, eliminating them from playoff competition. Then I have the Houston Texans back-to-back games at home, week 13, against the Chicago Bears. Caleb Williams against CJ Stroud. He was the number 1 overall pick in the draft this year. Then week 14, the Buffalo Bills are coming into town, and I hope my boy Dan Mitchell is there in attendance. The tailgating that day is going to be absolutely crazy, but we are going to see a great quarterback matchup of CJ Stroud versus Josh Allen. Then I have the Houston Texans back-to-back games on the road. Week 15, CJ Stroud going back to the stadium where he had that concussion against the New York Jets. We're going to have to light some candles. We're going to have to pray for CJ Stroud as he enters that stadium. I can't recall, but I think a few Houston Texans got hurt that day. My boy Jacob was in attendance, and it was just a tough day for him. Then week 16, Christmas, I have the Houston Texans at the Dallas Cowboys. This is going to be the game of the week, the game of the year. Texas versus Texas. Who owns Texas? It is going to be the Houston Texans, baby. You have Stephon Diggs going against his brother Trayvon Diggs. You have CJ Stroud going up against what seems like his best friend Micah Parsons. This screams cinema. This screams Christmas. This screams prime time. This screams crying Cowboys. Then I have the Houston Texans finishing off their season with back-to-back home games. Week 17, Jacksonville Jaguars finishing your games with them. Then week 18, a rematch of the past 2 years. But this time, the Indianapolis Colts are coming home. Are the Houston Texans fighting for the AFC title there? Hopefully not. Hopefully you are resting your guys as you get ready for the postseason. But ladies and gentlemen, let me know how I did. Did I cook? Was it as? These were my predictions for the Houston Texans 2024 season.